Hey, what's up everyone? Saintsfan back again with another GT Online DLC video. Today we'll be talking about the dukeo'death because we learned some more information, some new information about it. As well, I'll be comparing it and giving you guys a little preview of how it will look or how it will be in GT Online, you know, against the armored Kuruma, because that's the other big and popular armored car that I'm sure a lot of people that are interested in the dukeo'death are gonna compare it against. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Please drop the video a like if you do, and subscribe to my channel if you are not already for more awesome GTA content. Some new information we learned about the dukeo'death. This is coming from Foxy Snaps. So it is actually going to be free for returning players. So returning players do have a little advantage here. You can see these are actually what it's going to look like in game. I'm not entirely sure how Foxy Snaps does this or got these pictures, but this is what it'll look like if you are a returning player. It'll just say free on the Warstock Cash and Carry website, and boom, you will have it. Now, if you're not a returning player, then the price of it is actually going to be $665,000. So it is fairly expensive, but when you see these tests, man, this thing is incredible. Like, this thing, I could see it being the next popular car, at like the next best armored car, you know, versus the armored Kuruma. But those are the prices: free for returning players, not free, around $700,000 for everyone else. Kind of unfortunate, but you know, they do have to give the returning players some sort of perk, so that's kind of cool. I actually got it in online, like in my garage, because they did unblacklist it from people's garages. So on PC, since there are modders galore, someone actually spawned it in, and I drove into my garage, and I was shocked that I could actually do that. So I wanted to run some tests on it to compare it against, like I said, the armored Kuruma, and just show you guys sort of what to expect with this car. I mean, if you're a returning player, get it because it's free. If you're not, though, this video may help you out. So first and foremost, some tests about it. I compared it against the armored Kuruma here just because they are the two armored cars in the game. So I was just kind of curious to see how it compared against it, because this is a muscle car, like it's a muscle class car, where the Kuruma is in the sports class. But surprisingly, the Kuruma is actually slower than the dukeo'death. Like, I was not expecting this, and it's slower by quite a bit. You can see here, the dukeo'death, you know, I don't want to say it smokes the Kuruma, but it is pretty impressive here in the straight line test. Now, for racing, you're not ever going to be racing these against each other, so I don't know how it's going to, you know, compare to that. But if this is beating a sports car, then I'm wondering how it's going to compare against all the other muscle cars. This might actually break the muscle class, but at least here against the armored Kuruma in the, you know, top speed acceleration test on the airport, this is really good. And then in these second, or these, you know, these last couple of tests, we also have it compared against the regular Dukes, and it smokes that out the water as well. So if you're looking for a really fast car in free mode, then the dukeo'death is definitely going to be one of them, because of, you know, not only its speed, but, you know, it's pretty much a tank, man, in terms of how it just pushes cars out of the way. Like, if you run into a car, 9 times out of 10, that car will go flying and spinning out instead of you. Now, speaking of tank, it can withstand an explosion, like a sticky bomb or a RPG, but it can only withstand one of them. So like it works in single player, if you shoot an RPG at it, or if you shoot a sticky bomb at it, it will not blow up until a second one hit you. So that's definitely better compared to the armored Kuruma, because the armored Kuruma, you get hit once with any sort of explosive and you're dead. The car blows up. Now, one thing I did want to test was the shooting aspect and how people can easily kill you inside of the dukeo'death. And unfortunately, I think it is a little bit easier for people to kill you on the dukeo'death or in the dukeo'death than it is for the Kuruma, because the dukeo'death, the windows are a little bit bigger. And you may think, because they have these like little slits, you may think that is part of the armor as well, but people can shoot right through them. I guess if you're a passenger, it might be a little bit easier to survive, since the passenger window isn't that big. Like, the windshield isn't that big in front of the passenger. Also, on the back, you can't shoot through that, so you will be safe from the back. If someone's behind you shooting you with an assault rifle, you will survive that. But on the side and the front, the windows are a little bit bigger compared to the armored Kuruma, so I would have to say the armored Kuruma is a little bit better in that regards. One thing I know a lot of people use the armored Kuruma for are missions, and the reason that is because the cops have such a hard time actually shooting you inside the armored Kuruma, since the slots are so small. And I wanted to test that out because if this car, or, you know, if you are one of those people that have been using the armored Kuruma, maybe you just want to switch something up. Maybe you want to see how this Duke of Death compares or handles itself in that situation. Like if you have cops around you and you're in a mission where you don't want to die, how is this car going to work? And it actually works pretty damn well. I mean, unless you get really, really close to the cops, you'll see towards the end of this clip here, we're just at the airport. We have 3 stars. There's the cops here with the submachine guns, and we're maybe like, what, 10 feet away, I would say, and they can't hit us. Like, they don't hit us at all. But towards the end of this clip, you will see I do scoot up just a little bit, and then they do start to hit us. My friend in the passenger seat actually dies. So it's not like you're invulnerable, but I would say for missions and stuff, you know, you're pretty damn set with this car. You're not going to really die unless you decide to park your car and let the cops come up to you, you know, and shotgun you or shoot you with their assault rifles. So in terms of that, I would say in terms of NPCs killing you, this is just as good as the Kuruma. Now, one thing I do want to point out, because this is something that I don't really think is on any other car, the secondary color option on this vehicle, on the Duke of Death, actually changes the wheel color. So the wheel color doesn't actually exist. The wheel color is just whatever you put as the secondary. You can see I'm in the custom shop and I switch to chrome, and the wheels go to chrome as well. And it works for any color. You can see when it defaults back to what I had normally. I have yellow as a secondary color, and it puts yellow as the rim color. So I think that's kind of cool. But you are limited to just those 2 colors, the primary and the secondary. You can't change the wheel color. Another thing, and you may have seen this in the cop clip, but the bright lights on this car actually work. Like most of the cars they put in the game, the lights on them that are not the 2 front headlights, they don't work. But this one, they do work, and they are super bright. You can see just how bright it gets here on the wall when we do put the brights on. So that's kind of cool. You know, that's kind of unique. Not many cars actually have that working, so it is kind of nice that this one is working. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the insurance. Now, if you pay for this car, unfortunately, the insurance will cost, you know, a bit. I don't know how much it's going to be, but since I get this car for free, I am a returning player. You'll see here when I blow up the car and recall it, there is no charge for it. And that's actually incredible, man, because you can basically be reckless with this car and not have to worry about it if you are a returning player. I mean, one thing you can see here, and this is kind of odd because I did right before I ran into the gas station here, I shot my car with RPG. So an RPG plus a gas station explosion does not kill it. It's going to take 2 gas station explosions to kill it with an RPG. So that's kind of an odd thing there. But yeah, going back to the insurance, if you are a returning player and you get it for free, that no insurance cost, that's going to be huge, because then, like I said, you can be reckless. You can not worry about, you know, paying $5,000, let's just say, every time you blow the car up or you drive it into the water or whatever. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's what's going to, you know, make this car a lot better than the armored Kuruma for most people, because if you don't have any insurance, you know, it's basically the same when it comes to people or NPCs shooting you out. It can withstand at least 1 explosion, and it's faster, and I think it's more fun than it. You know, this car is a solid win, man, when it does come out. We don't know what the actual release date will be, if you were curious, but I would say just after driving this thing and having this thing for around a day in online, like, it's a blast. I mean, it's, like I said, you know, kind of a mini tank when you're driving around. You just, like, plow through cars. It can withstand the explosions. You can't throw sticky bombs or any explosives out of it, so it is like the Kuruma in that regard, but it's faster. It's more of a mean vehicle, and I like that a lot more, you know, than the armored Kuruma. So I'm excited for this car to come out. I'm excited for you guys to actually have it. Let me know in the comment section, do you plan on buying it? If you were not a returning player, I would say even if this car wasn't free, I would totally buy it for 600-something thousand, because it's an all-around win. So that is it. That is the information. That is some details and some stuff you might want to know about the Duke of Death before it does make its way into online. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If you did, please drop the video a like. That'd be awesome. And subscribe, like I said at the beginning, for more awesome GTA content. But thank you all. That is it. As always, I will see you guys in the next one.